Welcome to the PageantCast. Today we have Miranda Weber. She's Ms. Racing Queen 2013's runner-up. Coming today on the show.
Welcome to the PageantCast, your home for beauty pageant news and interviews on the internet.
Hi, I'm Laura Buman, Miss Universal Dream 2013, and you are watching the PageantCast, the first internet podcast about beauty pageants. Here is your host, Tim Kretschmann.
You're watching the PageantCast. I'm Tim Kretschmann. I'm so glad that we have the beautiful, the wonderful, and talented Miranda Weber. She's Ms. Racing Queen 2013 runner-up. She's here on the Skype line with us today. Hello, Miranda.
Hi, Tim.
It's so nice to be talking to you. It's been a while. We talked to you, oh my God, it has to be 3-4 years ago when we were an audio-only show.
It is actually longer than that. It's like 6 years.
6 years? Oh my goodness.
It's been a long time.
Have I been doing this show that long? Uh-oh.
I think you have.
I'll say this, you've aged more gracefully than I.
Thank you.
Now, to remind our viewers, how did you get started in pageants?
When I was almost 18, I saw my first USA Miss preliminary competition in Daytona. And I had never done anything remotely like beauty pageants before, but I'm the kind of person that's really up to try anything. So I gave it a shot and ended up staying in the USA system for about 5 years. Tried my best to win Miss Florida, came close once, but that's definitely how I started with it.
Okay, well, say hi to Grant next time you see him down there.
I will.
Fantastic. Now, the last time we spoke, you were talking about a goal of being a television food personality, a chef. Any progress on that goal?
I wish I could say I've had a lot more progress than I have.
Okay.
After I haven't competed in the USA system for about 5 years. That's been since my last city title with them. Mm-hmm. And in that time, I finished college. I started a career, and the Food Network has never left my heart. I had my whole family over last night making lasagna for everybody, and I would love if I end up with the opportunity to do it in the future. But so far, I haven't had the chance to.
Now, do you have some lasagna left over?
I do.
Well,
come over. You're welcome to try it.
I think it'd be a long commute. Now, where are you today? Where are we reaching you today?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Now, Ms. Racing Queen, what do you do? Do you guys do track and field events there? Running as fast as you possibly can?
No. And it's actually, that's a good one, because normally people think it's like NASCAR racing.
Right.
But it's thoroughbred horse racing. And essentially, the Strana Group, they're the owners of the Santa Anita racetrack in California, the Gulfstream track in South Florida, and then a few other tracks across the country. And horse racing has been attracting an increasingly older crowd for the last couple decades. So he has this great idea. He wants to bring in a young, fresh face, somebody that's well-spoken and interested in the sport, passionate about learning more about it, and then have this person be the spokesperson, hopefully attract a younger crowd. So they started out with 200 girls in Florida and 200 girls in California. And then we had to be in our cities. For us, it was Miami and Florida. And we had to be in our cities every weekend for 6 weeks, hoping that you were invited back the next weekend if you made it past the eliminations. So each weekend was a combination of like learning events where you meet different people like jockeys, some of the veterinarians, you meet people that take care of the stable, some of the people responsible for vetting, and you learn a little piece of the industry every weekend, and then you have an interview. And some of the interviews were in group settings, some of them were one-on-one, some of them were in front of audiences, and some of them were personal. And then by each stage, they kind of weeded out who they felt would be a good fit until it was 5 from Florida and 5 from California. And then they flew the California girls here, and we had a more traditional pageant.
Okay. Because this almost sounded like a casting type of process.
It was a lot different than any pageant I've ever been in. I would go more towards saying it's more like an interview than it was a beauty pageant, at least up until the last weekend.
Okay, well, tell us about the last weekend. What were some of the phases of competition there?
Well, basically, we got there in the morning and then started to learn the stage prep and everything, and they did kind of similar to the USA system, an on-stage interview question, swimsuit and evening gown. All same swimsuit for the top 10 girls, evening gown of your choice, and then a surprise interview question.
What's your favorite phase of competition?
Interview? I know that sounds hard to believe, but at this point, well, I don't know. I feel like a lot, when you're younger at least, that's the stressful part, that's the scary part. But after everything that I've been able to do as a result of competing in pageants and everything that's led to me, like career-wise and volunteer-wise, I'm comfortable speaking about anything really at this point. It's more nerve-wracking to think, well, I did drink a giant Oreo milkshake last night, so I don't know how quickly I belong in a swimsuit or how ready I am to be fitted for an evening gown, but I'm ready to interview. So that's always my favorite part.
It's interesting. Now I've had a lot more interviews under my belt, almost 800 different people that we've interviewed on the show. And really, it's a even distribution between swimsuit, evening gown, and interview. In fact, I would say swimsuit is probably the smallest of the three, but interview and evening gown are probably the two favorites that I hear consistently.
You gotta love the part that's less stressful. I love to work it in a swimsuit, but it's a lot harder to prepare for that for me at this point than it is interview.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Miranda Weber from the Racing Queen pageant system in just a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
Voicemail and comments for Tim and the PageantCast. Call 262-757-8576 and let Tim know what you think of the show. This is Corey Ann Strupp, Miss Wisconsin Collegiate America, wishing you Tierra Dream.
I'm Amy Gregorio, Mrs. International 2013, and I'm inviting you to join us in Jacksonville, Florida for the Miss and Miss Teen International 2014 pageants. In Jacksonville, we're only 10 minutes away from the ocean, 2 hours away from Disney, and we have plenty of golf and plenty of shopping. We hope to see you there July 28th through August 2nd.
This is the PageantCast. I'm Tim Kretschmann. I'm with Miranda Weber. She's Ms. Racing Queen 2013 runner-up. I need to talk to you a little bit about thoroughbred racing. Did you get to ride any of the horses at all, or are you not allowed anywhere near them?
No, you're allowed near them. We definitely got to go near them, but you don't touch them or ride them or anything like that. They're, especially on race days, which is normally when we were down there, you gotta let them back and let them do their job. But we did get to bet on the races. Every single weekend when we were there, they actually gave us kind of a stipend to bet on, and then you had to bet on your own, and if you won anything, you get to keep it. So they had us doing all kinds of interactive things, but no horse riding. You
didn't get to lasso any of them?
Yeah. I wish, but no. I'd have been really good at that. I might have won then.
your inner cowgirl and boom. Fantastic. Now, tell me, you've been involved in pageants for a while. How do you keep up to date about what's going on in the pageant world?
It's not hard to. I think it would be harder not to keep up with what's going on in the pageant world. I have a number of really, really great girlfriends that I met from competing, and some of them still compete, some of them don't. And then I end up meeting a lot of the teen girls that are competing now, and I have a few that I've sort of taken under my wing, and I help anytime I can. So it's impossible at this point, with everybody connected in my life, not to hear about what's going on.
Okay. Now, you brought something for our show and tell segment, so let's see, what did you bring for show and tell?
I brought my prize from the Miss Racing Queen thing.
Okay.
Only because it changed my life. honestly. Like, I realized, do you know what the prizes were for?
No clue.
So, winner of Miss Racing Queen 2013 got $100,000.
Whoa.
And first runner-up got 50.
Look at that.
So
Wow.
that's my show and tell. It's the giant check that they sent me home with at
Now,
the end of the competition.
Do you have to go to a special teller window with that?
No.
Did you endorse it on the back? Let's see the back. You still haven't endorsed it. You haven't even spent it yet.
You're right. I need to endorse it just for fun. I do. You're right. You're
Okay.
totally right.
You have a big pen over your shoulder. Here we go. Exactly. Well, fantastic. Now, how has it changed your life?
Oh, I have been working at least 2 jobs since I was 15, 16 years old. This is actually the first time in my life where I've ever only had 1 job. I landed a really great career this year, but the check enabled me to like pay off a lot of debt that I've had, get stable on my own, paid off my car. It gave me a leg up that I have never had, and I could not be more appreciative of it. Like I couldn't be more grateful for signing up, and that was actually Mr. Stronach's goal. I have never been involved or heard of another competition where someone who doesn't win gets that kind of prize. Like, I had zero obligation after that point. They just let me walk away with a $50,000 check, and it's helped me tremendously this year.
That is amazing. Now, tell folks that don't know about Racing Queen, how can they get involved? What would you recommend?
I don't believe they've set the exact dates for the competition next year, but I believe it's going to be in March 2014. And details, even an application, is already up on msracingqueen.com.
Okay.
And it's open to anyone in the country. I think it's 18 to 30. They've got the rules up online, but I highly encourage anyone who's interested in becoming involved. It's, believe it or not, and there was some backlash to this from the thoroughbred racing industry in the beginning. It's not required that you have any previous knowledge about it, that you've raced horses, that you've raised them. I mean, there are definitely some girls that do know all about it already, and I would say that they have a leg up. But the organization sets you up really well to teach you while you're there. So
Okay.
it's an even shot for anybody that wants to give it a try. You just got to be somebody that's willing to be there every weekend, willing to work hard, willing to let them see your real personality, and willing to do your homework so that you're learning things along the way.
Now, do you ride horses recreationally at all?
I have, but I don't do it regularly. I'm definitely not knowledgeable about horses like some of the other girls that went in. I just tried my best to learn about how the organization works and approach it from a business mind.
I think for me, the closest I get to horses is when I yell too loud. My voice becomes hoarse.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's really corny. I had to, though. It's kind of contractually obligated. So, have you done any appearances, or you just leave free and clear on this thing, huh?
Oh, for the Racing Queen thing?
Yeah.
Nothing. They have asked me to come back next year to help organize the event, help host it and everything. So I'm going to go back and be able to help any way I can. Anytime I make it down to Miami, I stop by and say hi. Like I said earlier, those are the kind of people I got to be thankful for it. So I'm there to help them any way they need. And I think about wanting to try again, but I just don't see the likelihood of me getting 50 or 100. So I'm going to go ahead and give somebody else a chance next time.
Fantastic. Well, we want to thank you for your time this morning. Now, one of the things that we do, now that we're a video podcast, we didn't get to see you do this in the past, is I'd like to see your best pageant wave. We always want to see the best pageant wave. I know you've worked on this over the years. So let's see this pageant wave that you would use in a parade.
Okay.
And
it's Christmas parade right now. I'm in the Orlando.
Yeah,
Christmas parade.
look off to the left, and there's all sorts of people over there, and to the right. There, okay, let's see it. Oh, this is good. Oh, see that? Oh, she's got the smile down. Now notice that she's keeping the wrist nice and supple. See that, folks? All right, fantastic. Thanks so much. That's great. Now we're going to both do that and say Tiara Dreams to all of our viewers. Thank you so much, Miranda, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, Tiara Dreams.
your dreams.
PageantCast.